Oh man, Doom, here we are tied up in this series 1-1 for both of these players, not to mention neither of them had dropped a single game before this series. And even though it's the early stages and it's the seeding groups and none of this really counts for money or anything, I still think it means a lot when it comes down to the mentality of going into the next series, you know, knowing that you came out really clean versus really dirty. But that aside, this is again DreamHack Bucharest. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rifkin, I'm casting with Doom, and we're on Base Trade TV. And spawning in the upper left corner of the map, representing my insanity, it's the orange Zerg player, Niroxs.
And his opponent, lower right-hand corner of the map, from Team Liquid, in the red trunks, it is Rhett.
You know, Rhett's been through quite a journey himself, though, like, in real life. Not only did he dedicate a lot of time trying to get better at the game, but, I mean, he stopped smoking. Like, well, I don't know if he actually stopped and quit for good, but I remember he had, like, a blog he was posting where he was giving updates on, like, his attempts to quit smoking. Like, forget Grandmasters, dude. Forget DreamHack Bucharest. Like, that is a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah, quitting smoking. They design those things so you smoke more of them. It's
not easy
psychological. Yeah, it's a psychological, you know, thing mountain to overcome. But you know, when you're battling your own inner demons and everything, it's always difficult to find your focus. And if you could find some peace through a video game, then I can't think of a better situation
Doom.
in the world.
Is this standard now and I missed the memo, or is this just like 3 games where these guys are opening 13 pool and Niroxs is going gas quick over and over and over again?
It's super meta, man. All right. It's just, we can't explain it. We'll never realize it because we're not the pros, but these guys are good.
Well, I love that this is actually happening, because when you play standard, quite frankly, it's boring, it's predictable, and not only for casters and commentators, but for the viewers. You know, a 15 pool and then a 15 hatch, like how many times have you seen that? It's nothing interesting, but going for these slightly early pools, going for the potential of that aggression, and Niroxs potentially, once again, going for some crazy banelings, maybe, it makes for a very dynamic early to mid game that I think is very fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see his deviations on the build, because in some of these, okay, I was going to say he's going for the hatchery early in some of these, but this feels like it's almost a little bit later to me. Maybe not, maybe it is, but it's kind of timing out with Rhett's Overlord Scout, so that makes a lot of sense considering what we've seen so far in this series.
Well, Penguin in chat, teammate and captain of my insanity's Niroxs here, apparently telling us this is very standard for him. This is an opening he's comfortable with, and hey, we saw how good it worked already. I'm not at all surprised that this would be something quote-unquote standard.
Yeah, and we saw mYi do it too, so we know it has to be good. It has to be great, crazy, and amazing, and produce great games.
You know, we talk about kind of like underrepresented underdogs. mYi's one of those guys. Niroxs, mYi, like, these sort of guys are the people I want to see go far, even though I know, like, it's going to be the Koreans that take the cup.
Yeah. You know what was very curious about that last game was Rhett went for that super early lair, and it almost felt as if Roaches was just kind of like this
an afterthought
response.
Yeah.
Because I think if Niroxs didn't get that scout off in the main base, he wouldn't himself have gone for that Roach, you know, push that he went for. It ended up being an opportune timing for him, but I think it was all based off of his scouting information.
Oh, dude, do you see what he's doing right now?
I seen it. Is Rhett gonna see it? Rhett sees it himself.
He should see it. This is kind of cool because
what does he respond with though?
Well, the circling, of course, is really low. Now, being in the main like this is kind of useless. It's not going to kill any drones, but what it will do is make them all very killable.
Well, maybe just 3 of them.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't go up on much. So I was looking at the lings in the natural, but, oh, speaking of lings in the natural, they're going to become banelings in the natural. There is a spine crawler down there. This is not a good spot for Niroxs to be in.
It's an aggressive spot.
Oh, but he's going to
get slightly surrounded. Oh, he's got grid positioning there where he's...
Oh, it's slippery.
Get away.
It's coated in butter. It does go down, but so does the spine crawler, and these drones are stacking up so nicely. These lings is the follow-up. Good game, well played is called. Not even going to try and fight that. Niroxs viciously taking a victory here, 2-1 over Liquid Reds.
That was an amazing play, Rifkin. I was a little shocked he went for the spine crawler, but once you eliminate that threat and there's nothing behind it, that stack up of the drones, the single baneling does so much damage. Any lings that come in there would have killed all of them. Rhett was forced to tap out. It's like getting your opponent locked in an arm triangle or something like that, choking the life out of them. Amazing play there from the Niroxs. And the first place in his group, 2-3-0 in the series. Rhett going to drop to 2-1, will advance to the next group stage, but Wow, what an exciting ZBZ series.
Yeah.